Lacey was my mother, and what a sweet person she was. Very sweet and nice and down to earth. And she was also very, very stern and tough, all the way to the end. So much that it was a point where she told us, if I was to pass, I don't want a funeral. She said, I don't want a funeral, just cremate me and move on with your life. And so we followed her and honored her. So tonight is sort of like my eulogy to her. Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and that's it. The poem, Things You Did Not Do, I didn't write it, but I took it and I tweaked it to suit this meeting and the project, and as well to handle the eulogy that I think I should give. So, things that you did not do. 45 years ago, you mothered a son. You were just 16 years old. 16 years old, you had your whole life ahead of you. You had your whole life ahead of you. Most would have ran and took off, but you didn't. Also, you told me from time and time again that I wanted a home. I wanted to travel. I wanted a car. So at that point I did think, like, wow, why did she throw in the towel? But she didn't. And I remember when I was maybe 4 years old, things had gotten really tough. And without a lot of support from family, she struggled. But she went through high school. She worked a full-time job, finished college, and you still moved on when most would have gave in that sort of adversity. But you didn't. And I recall one time, I had to be about 10 years old. And I remember something must have irked you this day. And you told me, you said, hey, listen, when you get home from school, because I was a latchkey kid, I came home on my own since 7 years old. When you get home from school, don't go outside today. Wait till I get home. But being that I was a knucklehead as well, I proceeded to go outside anyway. And inside my neighborhood, you know him, it was another knucklehead. And his grandpa just happened to have a riding lawnmower. And I just happened to want to drive this riding lawnmower. So you know where I'm going with this. 10-year-old kid and lawnmower doesn't mix. I proceeded to get on the lawnmower. I was jerked off. And I forgot it was in the guard on the lawnmower. So here I am. The lawnmower spins really rapidly and almost take off my left foot. I remember, Mom, you rushed to the hospital, made sure nothing was missing. And once the anesthesia wore off, you told me, quietly, you whispered in my ear, you said, when you get better, it's just me and you. And I knew that's the first time I actually felt pain that day, when Mom gave me that threat. And I knew she meant business. I swore she'd murder me when I get home, but she didn't. And the last conversation we had, we spoke, she stood up. I'm leaving our apartment going to work one sunny August morning, and she told me, I'll see you when you get home. But she didn't. Fellow Toastmasters, Madam Toastmasters, if you just happen to have a mother on this side of the spectrum, go home and tell them you love them. Madam Toastmasters.